Script or shoot first? What are you doing?
I am becoming a huge fan of scripts.
Aaron, you're a big component of using AI video, and you're probably, pumping out a few every week?
I would say, yeah, it depends, yeah.
One tool you can't live without.
Right now, I would say Final Cut Pro, just because it's so dependent upon my livelihood.
Customer testimonials are not exciting.
Some things are going to be boring.
Yeah.
So what makes a piece of content actually memorable?
I try to think about what's memorable to me when I see something. People say B2B is boring. It's unoriginal.
This happens when you don't go to a video shoot without a good plan.
Yeah.
You get decapitated.
I doubt I'm with it too.
Absolutely. So let's rip the next question.
All right, folks. Welcome back to another episode of the EventShark TV podcast. It's episode 13, lucky number 13. Woo! And on today's episode, we have a special guest, our friend in from Austin, or not from Austin, our friend in from Dallas. We got the legendary Aaron Morrissey, B2B creator, pioneer, genius of AI video, conceptual content marketing, OG, and just the leading man of LinkedIn. How are we doing?
I'm blushing right now. No, I'm doing good. Just, yeah. No, I'm a little tired from the drive, 6 a.m. drive, but always love to see Austin, see my boys.
Woo!
I'm a partner of the EventShark team and a promoter. Go EventShark.
Let's go.
Go mascot.
All right, Aaron, so we have a segment that we do every podcast where we are sponsored, quote unquote, by a sparkling water.
Oh, wow. Spindrift.
So today we are sponsored by Spindrift Mojito, sparkling water and real squeezed fruit, water, lime juice, and mint. Spindrift.
You know what's a great thing about Spindrift is there is no natural flavoring. And Waterloo, which is a Texas product, has natural flavoring. So if you're into health, that's a big deal. Actually, yeah.
No hito.
There's no natural flavoring at all.
In here or in Waterloo?
In here.
Yeah.
I think that's why they call it no
choice.
That's why they call it no hito, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
It's no.
And no alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a trend among Gen Zs right now.
Yeah, they're not drinking.
Let's do I think you can cheers with water.
Yeah, well, it's a seltzer. It's a.
Oh, so it's, yeah.
I think you can't do it with just still normal water. Even sparkling is kind of, it depends on what glass you serve it in. You put a lime in that.
That is good. Honestly, yeah, mojito, a little julep. It's good.
Yeah.
All right, let's rip some rapid fire questions. Welcome to the podcast. And Ding, thank you for your intro. Great work on the intro.
Beautiful intro.
Aaron Morrissey, first question for you. If you had to pick one, video recall or reach?
I mean, I feel like it's such a weird thing for me to say because I would be a person that doesn't have the largest reach. When you look at actual like creators who've worked with substantial brands, there's people out there who have, 70,000 followers. We were just talking about our boy Will, who's I think above in the 70s. You've got people like Jen Allen. So reach is big. I think it still matters. You want to build an audience, but when it comes to actually purchasing a product, it's recall. I mean, it's been forever. We're just, again, we always talk about B2C adopting B2B. It's like, what brands do you remember when you want to buy? That's the simplest version of it. So from a revenue standpoint, I would like to have the most recall with the most reach. So it's kind of it's a complicated thing because I don't have the biggest reach on the platform, but I feel like a lot of people with reach, and especially right now when I'm seeing, you don't remember anything that you saw. Day in the life, cool content, great for tofu, put it in the mix, but maybe put a spin on it, maybe make it a satire, maybe make it revenue driving. I just feel like right now it's like reach is a little bit weird, depending on the platform.
Yeah, let's kick that question to Ding.
Yeah, well, so when you optimize for reach, one thing happens is that you start to over-index on what we call vanity metrics, right? And the content selection and curation will be drastically different for any brand or individual that's maximizing for reach. because you have to serve the lowest common denominator. So we've seen a lot of pages and accounts posting, especially on a platform like LinkedIn, you look at the user base, it's mostly HR people, recruiters, salespeople. So, and job seekers, of course, right? So what content does the best on LinkedIn is here's how to get a job. Here's the best interview tips. This is how to perform your SDR job better. Because there's more users on there. Unfortunately, if you're looking for a job on LinkedIn, you're probably not in a position to buy some software. So that it misses the mark in terms of the targeting, in terms of the intention behind the content. And to your point, the recall and longevity, when you appeal so broadly, it's hard to build a one-on-one connection with your audience of one, right? That concept of everything that you make should be for this target profile of this imaginary one person. If you sell to CISOs, it's Billy Bob over in the IT department.
Yeah.
You sell to the CMOs, that's a different profile. But when you go too broad, you just can't do that.
No, and LinkedIn's done a good job. Kudos to LinkedIn. I will say two things positive, since we all kind of poo-poo on the algorithm, is like they did a really good job of like, hey, we want to get more people using our platform for jobs. So right now, all the categories within the video categories are for jobs. So it's not from a place, I think, from where we all come from, where we're trying to attract ICPs for a business. I don't think it's conducive to that, but it's sure the heck conducive to engagement on their platform. So I got to give them credit. I see what they're trying to do. So I've seen a lot of people decrease their output production over the last 3 months, like big time. I don't know if you guys have.
I have.
That, but
I certainly.
I'm
not like back in the day when it was there's a higher ROI to post, right? Not necessarily to create, because like now we're very big on the most important videos. Your bottom funnel, mid funnel content is more important than tofu at this point. When distribution, landscape changes, right? But yeah, of course, I'm not as motivated. So when I was just making a random selfie, getting 10,000 impressions, 20,000 impressions, hundreds of likes, right? That's easy. Of course, I'm going to maximize my spread every day.
And that endorphin too of like, oh, there's a reward when I post. I think some people are feeling that, and I've seen probably the most I've seen was this week, and people actually being like, oh shoot. But it's hard not to sound like a hater, because it affects us all. It's not like one of us is being, shadow banned, which I don't believe in. I think it's just the nature of the algo changing. Yeah. But I hit up, funny story, I hit up the CEO. I saw an interview with him, and I thought he was super
CEO
cool.
of LinkedIn?
Yeah. So I messaged
You hit him up.
I did.
You guys are buddies?
No, we're not. I saw him doing Gen Z slang. And so I was like, hey, really loved your video. I was like, I heard you say you respond to every comment about the feed. And within a minute and a half, he responded. I'll show you guys after this. But yeah, he literally said, hey, let me get this in front of our head of our feed. I can't remember the name. And I said, awesome, appreciate it.
Head of the feed.
Yeah.
What a job.
What job title.
Head of the feed.
It's powerful.
That's you get that
cool.
on chicken farms too.
Yeah.
Head of the feed.
All right, Ding, with your rhymes and jokes.
Irreverent humor brought to you by Ding Zang.
All right, so synopsis, recall, and reach, both important.
Both
but
important.
I think we lean on recall for trying to sell software or whatever we're trying to sell.
I would say right now, for sure, right now. Timestamp this.
And the other piece, right, that we haven't talked about is when the organic is low, you can always blast paid, right?
Yeah.
And then when you're doing performance marketing like that, recall is even more important.
Yeah, for sure. I just wrote some ads, and that changed the whole way of thinking of writing.
Yeah.
Like 30 second, 6 seconds for a company. And I was like, whoa, this is such a different, I know that I'm going to be in somebody's feed with this production. How does that change? That was a big thing for me too. That was crazy.
Even when we just went to the fish market, you might have saw this. It was probably mentioned in the last 3 calls we went to. Oh, you guys are at the fish market. So
well, no, yeah, his post, I think one of his posts popped up in my feed, and he was like, doesn't matter what you post, just post it. And it was like, and I think it did
pretty well, yeah. I think people
for fish.
People saw the picture of me with the gimbal in front of like some fish on ice, and they're like, "Whoa, this is not B2B SaaS."
Yeah, like wait a minute.
Yeah. So it just goes to show.
Format.
The pattern interrupt. Right?
Pattern interrupt.
That's great.
So, Aaron, script or shoot first? What are you doing?
It depends. When I'm with people like you guys, I feel like we can come up on the fly. If I've worked with Chris Cunningham, we didn't have one script ready. We wrote an entirely different script. Time constraints happened. We had lunch. We wrote it over lunch, filmed it, put it out. I am becoming a huge fan of scripts, though. I just got this writing platform. I believe it's like writer.ai, and it will actually pull together my scripts. And so you can call out your shots. You can call out the inflection, tonality, dialogue points. So you have this rubric of like exactly what people need to do. So I usually edit all my own stuff. So if I was used to being lazy with writing, oh, guy does this, says this, does this. Mm-hmm. Now writing for other people, script has become so much more important. And especially with the way in the format that you can do cuts, go on to the next line. I think script it's crucial. That's editing brings it all to life. That's the real like medium to where you can really make things pop. You can get some mediocre shots and still make something happen. You can do some B-roll, you can do something like that. But yeah, I always say script first now.
Yeah, I think the type of video you're shooting, type of production has a big influencing factor on that. I think the bigger the crew.
Oh, interruption. We have a random item coming out.
I didn't hit the Q4 numbers. So what do I do with this? Oh, donut. So what
happens, Mason? Oh,
Jesus Christ, dude.
Show the crowd what has happened.
Well, whoever this is, rest in peace to her.
All right. Every 7 minutes, we're bringing out a new item.
Oh, gosh.
So
do we talk about this item?
No. Just let it go. Let it go.
Just put the hat on.
Put it out.
Wear the Krispy Kreme thing for 5 minutes.
Until the next. Put the Krispy Kreme thing on.
That's true. The hair is pretty cool.
I'll take the head.
Okay.
No, the head.
Oh, you'll take the Krispy Kreme?
No, this guy. Get out of here.
Okay. All right, let's go. So I wear this right now?
There's a joke I can't make right now.
What's your joke?
You know what that is? That's from...
Mason knows.
That's an album, I Love McConan. Remember?
This is I Love McConan album.
Yeah.
got the pod going up on a Friday.
Can I speak to the manager, please?
Yeah.
All right.
HR, please. HR.
So this is what happens when you don't do what? Go into a script. This happens when you don't go to a video shoot without a good plan.
Yeah.
You get decapitated.
I would say like 85% of the time, if you're going to show up without a script, you're probably not going to film anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, you got to have something. It's hard to get people, especially on a personal project, to go outside of their working norm to dedicate time to something and not have a script. You're not going to get people to do it.
Yep. Even when we do events, right, you think that'd be more ad hoc. But a big part of that is we don't just script what people will say on camera. We got to also script the day.
Yeah.
Right. Schedule people. Because a lot of folks go into an in-person event with great intentions. Like, we're going to film a lot of content. And then all the executives suddenly have meetings. The customers had something come up. Oh, great. Now the day's over and you didn't get anything filmed. So there's... when you're working with limited time constraints, people are on tight schedules, even just having their thoughts scripted out beforehand. And it even works for customer testimonials.
I've seen your outlines before one of the events you had down here. And I mean, it was down to the, as much as you can be down to the minute of like, all right, here's the interview session. Here's the questions that are going to be proposed. Here's how we switch out, change locations, set up. I mean, I think the more prepared you are, the more you can also have a little bit of fun with it too.
Absolutely. So let's rip the next question. Aaron, you're a big component of using AI video. One of the first few people that's really was doing it originally.
Yeah.
And you're probably pumping out a new AI video every week?
I would say, yeah, it depends. Yeah. If like it's something short and quippy, I would say maybe 1 to 2 a week. I've changed my stance with it a little bit just because...
Is it overhyped or what's your thoughts on it?
I just think like anything, it becomes cyclical. Everybody now got access to ChatGPT-4 and the image creation, and it diluted the market. So it's almost like in Google VO3. I thought Google VO3 had one of the best drops ever. Like, look, we're talking. Remember that whole thing? Yep. Look, we're talking. That was mastermind in marketing. And everybody who uses AI was like, oh shit, this solves such a big problem. But what I think happened too was the ease of use with it. So many people who were deniers before, it was too hard. But anytime you make something too easy, it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna continue at the velocity that it did or the impact. I've seen that, so I've been trying to use it less and less. I use it as like a co-star or a background. I've made a couple full AI videos. And honestly, those don't perform as well because I think people want to see the person who built their personal brand. I don't know.
I would agree on that statement, at least for the short term.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think where it's going, we're not that far off from it being much harder to distinguish the difference. Now you could still kind of tell. But one interesting use case recently is we had a client that had a quick turnaround, and they needed kind of like a hero video where there were elements that you would have to film traditionally, right? With a tight turnaround schedule, you can't schedule that with the spaces, the actors, like the crew, etc. It's much more difficult, right?
Yeah.
Now you can replace that with AI. I think as a cost savings means to an end for companies without budget, it's a viable alternative.
Yes. For those scenes. Like I just saw one this morning. It was a bee, and it was following around a bee through a people in a picnic. And they said, how much would this have cost to actually shoot a shot like this with the VFX and everything going into it? And now what you can do. So it's a supplementer. It's an elevator. It's not a strategy. It is just a way to help you execute. I mean, we're all filming in our house, and everybody wants content every day, every week, all the time. I mean, obviously you can do things like this with podcasts, but when you're at home and you just need a green screen, or I can't call on Ding and be like, hey, do you have 5 minutes? Like, no, dude, I'm in New York. We're shooting a thing. I'm booked out. Or I'm in Wisconsin farming.
Right.
Yeah. I'm driving tractor right now, bro. Let me call you back. You can't you need that person right there. So I'm going to go to AI for it. But the full AI videos, I don't know. There's been a couple funny ones, but it's hard to do.
Yeah. I like the vlog style of all the historical events.
Those are cool. Those are cool. Or there was like a plastic one about getting rid of plastic that I was like, this is super good.
All right, new item coming in. What do we got?
I was not ready for these. Okay, so we got an iron, and then I have to read off the cue card.
Is it a letter?
A lighter?
You get a letter?
Yeah. You gotta see for yourself, brother.
Oh my gosh.
We got to keep you on our toes on the EventShark podcast.
LinkedIn AI.
What does it say?
Oh, it's misspelled. it's LinkedIn AI. Was that on purpose?
That's definitely on purpose.
Okay. LinkedIn AI. So what do I do with this?
So you need to now, let me see this.
So you got to do 3 jumping jacks and 2 burpees.
Yep.
I can't. I'll rip my suit. Do this, guys.
Dude, that's seersucker, man.
It's
tough.
Yeah.
All right.
Tough.
It's
So-
tough material. It's Buck Mason. Buck Mason, sponsor me, please. It's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. I'm sick of reaching out. All right. So wasn't sure what to do with that one, but we're just gonna.
We're moving on. We're moving on. Flush it.
We're just trying to keep you, ironed out.
I like
keep you on the narrow.
I did.
narrow.
I'm wrinkling.
Yeah.
You're wrinkling over here.
he's-
I need
Yeah,
this on
Jake's
I need that
wrinkling.
iron over here. Turn that thing on.
He needs this.
Yeah. So what makes a piece of content actually memorable? This is for anyone that doesn't know Aaron. He's all about creating memorable content, recall.
And I think and again, stolen from people who have been talking about we can all do this one the whole time, synchronize. But I don't know. It's like, to me, I always get like this weird imposter syndrome where it's like I'm so confident about content that I make, and then I'll go rewatch it and I'll look at certain things, but I try to think about what's memorable to me when I see something. There's been a couple pieces of content like that recently, but I have noticed it's just, people say B2B is boring. It's unoriginal. And I think like
I don't want to hear B2B is boring one more time.
I don't. It's
For the love of
dead.
God.
Just please drop it. It's like it's over. Just like we don't hear dark.
You know the
social.
thing that I hate the most about that statement is that it supposes that if B2B is boring, right? What people are really implying is that boring marketing doesn't work, right? That's the critique. Oh, it's boring, it's bad, it doesn't work. I think that's categorically false. I think that boring marketing absolutely has a place, has a right to exist. What are you doing?
She disagrees. She disagrees.
I'm gonna.
It's not boring. Just kidding.
I think you need boring marketing, right? Customer testimonials are not exciting, but they're one of the highest converting pieces of content that you can make in B2B.
Yeah, some things are going to be boring.
Yeah.
We're
Not
trying-
everything has to be fun and exciting. Yeah.
A product marketer still should have a product marketing series. You should still explain what the hell the product does in an easy way with a Screen.studio recording, and that will still do really well. I agree with you. Just do it in a different way. That's it. That's all it is. It's like, okay, so what makes content memorable is something that had a narrative, but it was a format that you never saw before. That's it.
I would actually push back a little bit on that.
Yeah.
I think it can be a format that people have seen before, but it has to be done at a production level or execution or conceptually
Elevated.
that's elevated on the because I think that's actually
Yeah.
a good strategy. You look at Mr. Beast. Every single video he's ever done is a copy of something else that performed well, but he just took it to the nines.
Quentin Tarantino, pretty much every movie he's ever written, even though he does write original screenplays, he's taking from all the other
Genre
movies.
exploitation.
Yeah. The start of Inglourious Bastards was a complete ripoff of another movie when Hans goes to the house in France. It shot for shot. So like he
No shit, I didn't even know that.
And he stole from a lot of Asian-inspired films when he was doing Kill Bill. I mean, he's done this throughout his entire career, but he does it in a way, to your point, where it's elevated. The dialogue's a little bit better, the shooting's a little bit better, and it's just Quentin, so you can't deny.
And it's the love of the game, right? Like you can't do that stuff unless you know the source material, you know the genre that you're playing in. Well,
you got to really know it, to be able to copy. Because I mean, look at folks like Tycho from Dapper. I would give Tycho a shout out, even though Max is my boy in Amsterdam, so we need to keep that edit in. But he's been doing content that is really shaking it up. He's not just doing the talking head stuff anymore. He's copying Pulp Fiction, right? He's copying.
Is that the Wolf of Wall Street guy?
Yeah. To me, and this is full honesty, we're on a podcast. We're not trying to clickbait. I won't watch those in totality because it's a rip for rip.
Yeah.
It's a rip for rip. There's nothing new that I know that's coming. If I've already seen that movie and that scene, and the only thing that you're exchanging out is B2B terms, I'm not going to watch it all the way through. Although I do respect the fact of what he did for a tofu standpoint and for an audience that's not me. I've just seen that before, so I'm not going to go and watch every frame.
What's a video that you watched twice?
A video that I watched
Recently. Also, question for you, dude. Yeah. That made you like look back and say, damn, that was a good video, or sparked your curiosity, or something that just gave you that recall.
There's so many directions I could take my answer.
Let's keep it PG.
In a jokey way.
Oh, so this is B2B though.
I don't honestly. My answer. Have you guys seen Oz Perlman, the Mentalist? You guys?
I've heard of him before.
Heard of him?
Yeah.
He's on. My buddy put me on last weekend on him. I've been watching his clips all weekend. Basically, he'll basically use intuition of your facial expressions to understand what you're.
Was that the guy
thinking.
that went on Rogan?
He went on Rogan.
Yeah,
He's been on
NFL,
everything.
He went on NFL.
He's been doing all the NFLs,
Yes,
and then
that guy's
and I
right.
was just thinking we could have done something funny with this letter. Like you were thinking LinkedIn AI, and I had this written the whole time. So he's basically reading people's minds and blowing people's minds. I've been watching his clips all day. It's completely different than anything I've seen.
seen the NFL one with Joe Burrow, and that was really good.
Insane.
He's
It's
like, you're
literally
gonna,
insane.
and he goes, gonna throw the ball to blank, and I was like, whoa. So that stuff's giving me chills. I think my favorite non-B2B, I'll make this really quick. Favorite non-B2B is called Almost Friday. They just were on our LinkedIn feeds about the cop pulling them over, and it's a Morgan & Morgan law firm ad at the end, but she's elevating like she's supernatural. Have you guys seen that one? That is, their writing is
Almost, you're saying Almost Friday, like Friday beers vibes.
Almost Friday. They're different. They're a branch. It is the same people. It is okay.
They're geniuses.
They're geniuses.
They're geniuses.
They are the best writers right now, and if they wanted to transition to B2B, they would absolutely.
Don't get them on LinkedIn.
I know that. No, I'm just like it,
Gatekeep.
It would absolutely go feral. Like people would be like, "What?" So those are my favorite from a writing standpoint right now for short form. And then on B2B, I would say a thing that I watched, a lot of the times working with people and creators, we don't really watch each other's videos all the way through, you know? We just kind of like skim it. We're like, we know what's going on.
We got a new item.
We got a Bucky's bear.
Hey.
Or gopher. Right? Gopher?
I think it's a gopher.
Shout out.
Beaver, yeah, look at the tail.
Beaver.
Shout out to Bucky's because Texas is the best. And if this isn't a representation of Texas being the biggest and the best, and
That's right.
I don't know what else is.
Best B2B content, Bucky's.
Yeah.
I never realized this
I don't
was
know.
corduroy until now, but
Well, he's a trendsetter.
he really is.
He's cyclical. He brought this back. I think this was 1940s or post-depression era. This happened.
Oh yeah,
So,
he's like some Great Depression vibes over here.
yeah, he's killing it.
All right, Bucky.
Yeah, Lucy sponsored me.
B2B though.
Whoa.
Yeah, B2B though. I don't know. I just feel like what are the ones that I rewatch? I think it's I don't rewatch anything. I think that's an error.
You know what's sad? The only B2B video I've rewatched was my own videos.
Yeah, well, yeah, well, 100%. I was just doing a video for a brand, and I rewatch it many times to see what I could fix or what I can take out. You guys know it's always about like, and Mason, you edit a lot. Like, you just want to strip something out. So I just continually go, or I'll put it to my wife test, and so I'll go to my wife and be like, and she's like, "Ooh, I got bored there," and that's when I just go next, and I cut it out. But
I like that. I do the same thing with my girlfriend too. If she's looking away in like 5 seconds, like we got to work on this.
Yeah, but I will say, I will give a shout out the V for Viglietta series that Obed is producing with that GTM engineer, and he went down the side of a cliff in California and made a clay table as he was going down, and it was shot like the Mission Impossible scene. I thought that from a production standpoint, from a writing standpoint, from a product standpoint, and I just told Obed this yesterday. I was like, that was probably, I want to say, your better orchestrated videos I've ever seen, because you don't watch these videos all the way through for the most part. We just don't.
Yeah.
And I think we can all be honest, especially if you create videos. You get ideas and there's maybe one, but
You know my dirty secret? I watched just enough I could write a comment that doesn't look like AI.
yeah.
Like, that's literally it.
But that's honest. I don't. Yeah, and I'll leave it there. I would say I had the same.
All right, I got a quick answer. I can't speak for that.
G-Herbo?
G-Herbo.
B2B content?
No, non-B2B content. G-Herbo went legit music video. I've played that probably 10 times.
All right.
This week.
The sales rapper.
And then whatever recent LOX song Dave Gerhardt sent me.
What's on your shirt right now?
Man, 21 Savage. The viewers may recognize this shirt from some of our content from SaaStock last year, as well as our EventShark Anthem music video.
Yeah, if
21
you're
Savage.
looking for a remix of Sales Star, 21
like-
Savage Post
that's
Malone.
like
He's a horrible live performer. Sorry, he's 21.
Hey, listen, if it's not live instrumental to me, sometimes it's hard for me to go to watch. And I'm a big hip hop head. Yeah. I just like Lil Wayne's a goat. He's going on tour. I just don't have a big interest because it's pre-recorded.
This is backing tracks.
It's backing tracks.
Yeah.
And I just, Jay-Z doesn't use a backtrack. A lot of folks don't use a backtrack. And those are the people that are like, whoa, this is crazy. If I go see Hosier or Bon Iver, it's going to be like this experience and they're going to play with it. I just think the live instrumentals make it more like you should be there.
Yeah. The one show that I was too young to go to, but I'm so upset that I'll never be able to see is Late Registration. Kanye West. He did the live with the live orchestra.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite albums, live albums.
He had a composer, composer of movies, actually work on that with him, and that's why it's so cohesive.
It's so good. It's one of my favorite pieces of music ever.
Top 5, no doubt for me.
Yeah.
Late high school, no doubt. That was my jam.
Next rapid fire question. Are you ready?
So
Are you ding too?
Yes.
One tool you can't live without.
A tool being software or hardware?
Software.
Oof, that's tough. Right now, I would say Final Cut Pro, just because it's so dependent upon my livelihood.
Final Cut Pro.
Yeah.
I think for us, ClickUp.
ClickUp.
ClickUp. Yeah, really.
Oh, we could live without ClickUp. Slack. Or ClickUp now has Slack integration.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
They have
Well,
their
we-
own Slack, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they have a
Shout-
and
oh,
Docs.
shout out ClickUp.
Shout out to ClickUp. Great tool.
Google Docs is ChatGPT. We just use one of the other tools.
Yeah, any LLM.
They're all
kind of because I don't code, so they're all good enough for what I need.
Lovable. I just used Lovable for a video.
Yeah.
Thought it was really easy and fun.
That's cool.
I liked it.
All right. More fun questions. Ready?
Oh, and then auto tune, of course, for me because I can't sing.
Yeah. I'm surprised you don't have auto tune on this right now
You know that
We
actually. Okay, we'll talk to Ryan.
because we need some random.
Shout out here.
Yeah.
You ever seen Morgan Jay's videos? He's my favorite comedian
No.
right now.
What do we got right now?
This looks like a mixture between a slinky and a what do they call it? I don't want to use that word. And a unicorn. And a unicorn.
All right. More,
I
Aaron.
would not be very comfortable.
I'm putting you on a timer right now, Aaron.
Go.
You got 30 seconds. You got to pitch a brand. You got to pitch a brand on an idea. You got 30 seconds.
I will say Buck Mason. Okay.
Buck
And
Mason.
here's why. Because I get served their ads on LinkedIn. My whole outfits are always Buck Mason. So to Buck Mason, wouldn't you want to be the first person on your partnerships or influencer marketing team to reach out to a B2B creator, not just someone who's going to go like this and put the clothes on and talk about this new shirt cut fit that's no different. Use a B2B creator, get you in front of a new audience because a lot of people in tech make money and they can afford your clothes.
Hot take. I totally agree with you that e-commerce brands are sleeping on LinkedIn.
There.
I agree.
They are sleeping hard because the audience is so much more valuable on LinkedIn. So much more valuable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know
We've seen a few. So I think Darren McKee is repping. What's the brand? Some athleisure. Mizzen and Main.
yeah,
He's
Darren
repping them.
Who's Darren McKee again? He's
He's the social selling cohort guy. Used to be a VP of sales.
okay.
Yeah, he's huge. Very great guy too.
Sounds-
Shout
yeah,
out to
sounds
Darren.
Yeah.
In Raleigh, Durham area.
All my
Yeah.
peeps in Raleigh, North Carolina,
Yeah.
come on, raise up, twist your shirt off.
Valence sponsor me. Sunspell sponsor me. Lauro Piana.
10 more minutes. So we got to take advantage of it.
Give me 4 brands that are crushing social on LinkedIn.
4 brands right now. I would say ClickUp's been a contender, right, for a very long time. They're doing the most mass, so I have to always give them. I feel like it's trite because
That's it.
everybody, does that, but Chris is very smart. He was revolutionary what he did. He's crushing it with tofu content.
Chris has got his flowers.
He's
Okay.
got his
we
flowers.
next.
Yeah, I would say I always like what Clay's doing because of the product and the way that they can utilize the product. So that's just one. Their product is so malleable that their content can be
Yep.
too. 3, I would say, man, I've been working with Hootsuite for the past 4 months now. And some of the things that I get to create with folks outside of just what I do and my video being on video, it's more about writing, but seeing the talent that they can do when it comes to actually conceptualizing and bringing it to life. Their video team's very strong. I'll mention Max, don't kill me, but Tycho, I feel like he's on to something right now. He's hitting a stride and he's really making an impact, especially with the numbers he's getting are pretty crazy. And then number 5, I would
We only need 4.
Oh, 4.
Yeah,
That's it.
it's 4. And then now 3, 2, 1. Okay, so name 3 B2B marketers that you look up to.
I think I can take a little bit from everybody. I think like Pep has always been someone from a statistical standpoint and a very macro view. He has such a great grasp on like qualitative and quantitative analysis. So Pep for sure. I would say when you look at people like, I mean, and this is just B2B marketers in general, I would say it's hard. I've already given Obed a shout out. Let me give somebody else a shout out. I mean, Adam Robinson.
Do you want a free trip to Vermont?
Oh yeah, Dave. Well, no. So here's the deal.
Plugging the boys.
I'll talk about Dave Gerhardt. I think Dave Gerhardt's revolutionary. He was the first one to jump on this whole video segment and just crush it. In which I don't think Chris Walker would have had the success he had if he hadn't seen Dave walk so he could run. I haven't followed his content for some time, but I always knew him as a guy who was confident and backed his laurels. And then, controversial, the guy who's shaken up things the most and taken that baton is Adam Robinson. And like him, dislike him, whatever you want to say, the guy got a playbook and he went full bore at it, did 200 podcasts. Relentless. Yeah. And also I would say Will from a creator standpoint, because Will said, fuck boundaries. I'm going to just do whatever I want. And he did it.
He did.
And then companies let him do it. And then he created his own company. So he's someone I say is one of the goats of creators for all of us. Jen Allen is she's not a marketer, but Jen Allen is my goat. So if we want to add Jen Allen in there, Jen Allen is the goat of goats. She's the most authentic voice on the platform.
I agree.
And all she does is sit in front of that camera, but her charisma and her knowledge crush it. So
the other thing I love about Jen is that she clockwork every Saturday. I just see the cutest puppies, foster those dogs, get them out of the shelters. What a positive message.
They call her Jenna McLaughlin. Sarah McLaughlin. Remember? In the eyes of an angel.
See, that's Recall.
Yeah, that's Recall.
Recall.
That's a Recall.
Exactly. Okay, now we're holding a camera here. I shoot everything on an iPhone. I used to have I believe it was a Nikon DS3100 back in the day when I was doing music marketing. And then I had a GX7 PowerShot for a vlogging camera.
Yep. That's OG vlog camera.
So I've had a couple of these. Cat food. Shout out to everybody who's to post content that actually, maybe they need to eat their own cat food and get a little bit more spicier. It's 2025, guys. Grow up. We're all adults here.
Boom. All right, 2 and 1 real quick. What are 2 LinkedIn trends that need to die?
LinkedIn trends that need to die. Corporate headshot photos with motivational quotes. Also frameworking vulnerability and victimhood within your post, with the not for the fact of authentic sharing. And sorry, people will be triggered by this, but you can distinctly tell the difference between someone who is sharing from a place of, I need someone to hear this and I don't have anybody else to go to, rather than I saw a video the other day of how you can framework your tragedies into a hook and make people relate to you. And I thought that to me is the lowest of the low when it comes to creating content. So decipher between the two. We can live in a gray area, guys. Don't take this as too much clickbait. It's just called, listen, I want to know so much about your life, but I also want to know what you'll provide to me and your ICPs for a business result.
That was fire answer. And the last one, Jake, you want to, I've just been freestyling these. You want to do the last one?
I don't got any last ones.
You don't have any last ones?
Final tip for LinkedIn creators?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've entered this last 2 months as a learning phase for me again. I got burnt out. I mentioned a post the other day. I think I'm up to like 30 paid videos for the year. It's not a flex. It's called I needed to make money during this time, and it's just the reality.
You've been
of
selling
it.
yourself out.
Yeah. Well, not selling myself out. I think no, but that's a good point of knowing your worth too. And on a couple of recent contracts, I've had to go into that with some partners that I love working with, but the output that I'm doing and the work that I put into these videos, like you said, how long does it really take to make a great video? I think you had on one of the questions was, it depends. I mean, I can spend 2 days on a video. I could do 12 hours. So what is it? What was the original question? What does it take to...
Advice for a LinkedIn creator.
Be your own and you will win 100%. It took me years to get out of the copycat mold of trying to just jump on trends and be like, this is how I should create. And then once I finally was like, dude, just be yourself. Like, you make friends because you're yourself. I met my wife because I was myself. I keep people in my inner circle because myself. I make friends like you guys because we're ourselves, and I think we feel really comfortable around each other. And I just think you need to get out and explore and try. When you live and die by one video post metrics, you are going to never continue. Listen, I'll have a video with 23 likes, right? And I put 6 hours into it, and it felt defeating. And then I go back, and before I blame anybody, I look at the content and I say, what could I have done better here? You know, like, you can see the drop off, all that, but just self-analyze and then go try something completely new if that's not working. Or if you saw some people get some love on it, take that, and to your point, go elevate it up with production and go from there. But build your own story. But remember, as B2C as this is becoming, make it about revenue, because that's all your companies will care about. That's all your brand deals will care about. That's all your current positions will care about. Keep revenue at the forefront, but be creative with the delivery.
Yeah. I love that, man. And Aaron, I want to give you your flowers right now too. It's something that isn't talked about as much in the creator space, because I think there's a big censored measuring contest of who could be the most creative, who's making the best content. At the core of it, we're all running our businesses, right?
Yeah.
So just being a better creator isn't the only metric that you should evaluate and you should improve upon in your day-to-day, right? Like, one thing that you come from a marketing landscape, but you also have very strong sales skills, right? Business acumen, understanding the revenue puzzle and how these companies go to market. And that's why you're able to add more value through creative, than some random person off the street, right? And I think a lot of creators over-index because, they hear Mr. B say, oh, it's in B2C, just make the best video possible, make the best video possible. That's not necessarily going to get you to business growth on the B2B side, right? Yeah. It's relationship building. It's being able to articulate value, being able to ascribe, the positive impact of what you create to an outcome that companies care about. Yeah. And I think so many LinkedIn creators are just obsessing over metrics and views and performance, where they kind of neglect some of the business fundamentals, right? One thing Jake and I have been doing, it's like, hey, the views have decreased. Now what are we doing? We're busy growing our company, right? We're reading books on how to operationalize better. And we've seen a bigger needle mover in terms of revenue and operations from doing that stuff and taking a step back from the content. So it's not just content. If you're building a business, right, and you're trying to grow revenue, there's other things that you can improve upon. And you've all been doing that. Just, you don't even talk about it in your content, right? That's just work that you're putting in. And then we all see that, right? And there's no surprise that you've leveled up so much so quickly.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I think it is about, at the end of the day, listen, I do work outside, do inbound and outbound motions for companies and help them increase opportunities and meetings and do all that stuff. But to me, that's separate, and I'll talk about that more maybe in the future. But right now, it's just about how much do I want to share, how much do I want to show, and I like to show first because I think that that's the real talent. We have a lot of creators who are just talkers, and I want to give them a different experience. So it was me carving out a niche. To give you guys credit, I don't think there's one other company that I can recall that is an event marketing production team in B2B. I thought about that on the drive down here. There's not one other that comes to mind. There isn't. Do you guys know? Do you know your competition? Is there any competition? Are you losing bids to competition? Maybe that's a separate conversation. But for me, from optics, I don't see another one. And then I did have a hot take to end on. One or two hot takes just for fun for the clips.
Let's go.
I think that when we're in this like community driven space, I think we've ruined community a little bit and monetized it too quickly. And so community becomes now a mixer of trying to bring in money. And I think that is going to hurt community long term. And I think community is going to be more important than ever with AI, agentic AI, people answering and walking you through demos. We need true communities that have no benefit except the exchange of knowledge and the exchange of friendships. And what I see right now is a like for like community of everybody's video is getting the same number of likes from the same number of people, vice versa. And I think that we've just fundamentally got to stop, because that's not going to drive your revenue. It's common sense type stuff. It really is.
I mean, I'll say this as someone who's, more or less in that community of the creators, at least, right?
Yeah.
Where we kind of all support each other's content. And that's why, you want to hear my hot take? I don't have any problem with engagement pods. Everyone uses them. Everyone does them. Your group chat, the Slack channel that the company's posting to all its partners, that is an engagement pod. It's just not paid.
Yes.
Right.
I'm 100% against these paid engagement pod plays. Does everybody who's in part of an influencer program, and I'm a part of several, do they do that? What I've noticed is fatigue, though. It really does drop off after the first couple posts.
Yes.
I'm in a group. There's 25 influencers. We're not all watching each other's stuff, and we're not all there to like it.
Yeah.
So some of it does fall on a void, but if you notice, there are those proponents of those people. I've always said that I'm going to be authentic till the end of me. That my main goal is revenue and driving impact. So it's not an artistic approach. It's I want to be genuine because I tell people I'm genuine, and I cannot lie about being genuine if I'm disingenuine. And I just can't do that. So if I really like something, I will like it.
Yep.
If I know it's coming from you guys, because you guys I have become friends of mine outside of this crazy B2B stuff, I'm going to support you guys because I see the mission. I saw it from, day 30, maybe not day 1. But yeah, I'm going to support those people. So there is some nuance to that. There's gray area to everything.
Yeah.
That's what people need to realize.
And I'll do a quick yap sesh about the concept of community. I think where it's trending.
And we're over time, by the way.
Oh, okay. So I'll make this quick. So community, you have internally owned communities, and then you have external third-party communities, right? The incentives are completely different for both. On the external side, you're making money through membership. You're making money through sponsorship. That's pretty much it, right? So everything that you do is going to be towards that, and it gets to a point where it's tough. I think they're knocking. So, and then on the internal side, what we've seen it start to become is support tickets, right? This is a community is really just customers, right? Or prospects, and then a partnership ecosystem. It's like, can we resource tutorials, onboarding demos, etc. through that. So I don't know what the future direction is, but I think you're 100% right on in-person events, in-person connection, content capture there. I'm biased. It's EventShark TV podcast. We just had Aaron Morrissey on. Follow the man. Where can we find you?
We can find me on LinkedIn.
Go find him on LinkedIn.
Aaron Morrissey.
Episode 13, EventShark podcast. Thanks for coming down from Dallas, and we will see you in the next episode. Peace out, y'all.
See you guys.